Welcome to another round of Master Phil in Your Corner. This is podcast episode number 109, Motivation versus Drivers, Intrinsic or Extrinsic. So we are pleased and honored to have a very special guest today. He's actually a mentor of mine and a figure that actually I still look up to in the martial arts, Rich Faustini. Say hello, Rich.
Hi, how's everybody? How you doing today, Phil?
Great, great. So before we get into our subject, let me just thank our sponsors. So first, we need to thank philross.com. philross.com, kettlebells, bodyweight, self-defense, martial arts, virtuals, and in-person training. We have virtual through the Patreon at Master Phil Ross. And also, I'm on Burn Along, me and about 2,000 other instructors. Book Survival Strong. Actually, Survival Strong will be coming out with a second edition. It's in process right now. Should be done soon. We have Ferocious Fitness and the Kettlebell Workout Library. Seminars, certifications through Ferocious Fitness, Survival Strong, and the Bodybell Method. The minimalist approach to strength and fitness. The Bodybell Method is recognized by both ACE and NASM for credits for continuing education credits. We have the P3 training group, Plan, Prepare, Protect. Health is a Wealth, virtual community outreach platform for mental and physical health, wellness, and fitness, as well as education. Pay-per-view flicks, Warrior Island. Well, we're going to be filming Warrior Island this week, so look for me on that. And we have Fit Team, 100% natural protein, supplements, vitamins, and assorted health products, and One Sleeve. BJJ, rash guards, shorts, hoodies, and all other sorts of stuff. And we also have the Winning Mindset, athlete, team, and corporate coaching, one-on-one and presentations, as well as workshops. All right, I'm exhausted after that. But anyway, Rich, let's tell everyone a little bit about your background. I mean, Rich was, actually I said still is a mentor of mine. I remember back, in the early 80s, when I came, I guess it was 81 when I came down to the YMCA in Ridgewood. You were one of the black belts, just crushing everybody.
Myself and Bill Timmy.
Yep. We had quite a crew back there, and it was just awesome to be part of it. And I know that you have you also have a background in serious weightlifting background plus security. Last resort technique. So if you just want to tell the audience a little bit about your background, as much as you want. It's our show.
Well, I started training in the martial arts about 53 years ago, and gained different ranks, of course. Started my own system in 1990, and I've been teaching that system since, with a few other things. I started my training in weightlifting actually when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
I've been doing that for 60 years without missing. If I go away, I bring something with me, and I can do resistance exercises. So I've done that from the time I was 15 till the time I was 26, right after the Olympic trials. I was participating in Olympic weightlifting. So I did that for a lot of years.
Can we talk about Olympic weightlifting a little bit?
Sure.
It's got a little bit of a resurgence, with CrossFit. Although I'm not a big fan of the way they apply it. I think that it's improper. But Olympic weightlifting is extremely athletic. It's not powerlifting.
Not at all. It's not at all. It's a great deal of agility is involved. Matter of fact, to this day, if I only have one exercise to do, and somebody pinpointed me and said, Rich, you only have one exercise out of all your knowledge, you got one, it would be the Olympic clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk. Yeah.
You have to have so much agility to perform that weight and then hold hundreds of pounds over your head. I mean, first of all, you got to get it to your chest. You got to stand up with it. We're not talking 200 pounds. We're talking into the 3s, into the 4s. I mean, it's tough.
That's an incredible amount of weight, because you have to have a lot of power to get it up. And then to get that over your head and have everything lined up, you have to have incredible mobility as well.
Right. And it's all stabilizing the body. I mean, if that bar's an inch out front or an inch too far back, then you're struggling to stabilize your base. So it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So then,
I did that for a lot of years. And then after the 76 tryouts, I came in 5th out of a field of 11. And really another year later, I stopped training. you know, it was at the time when the anabolic steroids were really, really into the lifting, and you
Mhm.
know, you had a choice: either really become an avid juicer, or just do what you needed to do. And you know, I finally just got out of it about a year after the Olympic trials.
That's funny because I remember that you could actually, in the 80s, you could walk into a gym by steroids.
Yeah, I was incredible. Dynamo was like eating M&Ms.
Yeah, yeah, they're all
Really?
over the place. And
Yeah.
I had actually, because I thought about it, and then I looked into what, why it was so bad. Because we always heard the rumors it was bad for your liver. And it's because there was an element in there called carbon 14, and what carbon 14 would do is act like a resistive element, so that your liver wouldn't break down the
Right.
toxin, the steroid, and then it was kind of like a perpetuating downward process because your
Sure.
body's stressed out to try to fight this, and yet this was resisting, and you just kept fighting, fighting, fighting. That's why some of these guys had liver damage.
Yeah, and we're going back 40 years, back to
Yeah, yeah,
76. So they didn't have the knowledge that they have today. They didn't even know what was going on. I mean, I remember walking into some homes of some of our prime heavyweight lifters with my coach, Frank Kapsoris. And these guys had Dynabol, and I kid you not, in a little tray like you would have M&Ms. They would just be taking them and popping them. So it was a little wild.
yeah, yeah. And not to mention what it does, as far as the fake testosterone that you put into your system, what it does to your ability to produce testosterone.
Right. Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
So then you kind of got out of the competitive weightlifting, and then what inspired you to start the martial arts?
Uh, well, did a lot of my training in the wintertime. Myself and my coach, Frank Hartsource, would go to the Ridge Y,
Mhm.
and we would train there. And one day I was viewing a class. I was 19 years old. I was viewing a class, and I said to myself, you know, I'm going to try this too, uh, because it was good for flexibility, which I needed. I needed that flexibility. And you know, a lot of the heavy deadlifts, a lot of heavy squats, a lot of the heavy pulls that I had to do in my training for the Olympic lifting would also tighten up the body. I needed that. I needed that flexibility, which the martial arts provided. And besides, it was fun.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I had a good time. You know
Yeah.
that.
We made it our careers.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I wound up training. I was doing both of them for a while and dedicated to both.
Yeah.
And you know, here I am. I'll be 73 in October. Still pushing the weights. You know, I became certified, kettlebell certified when I was 60. I
Yep.
spoke to you about that. And just keep moving forward. It's my motto,
That's it.
moving
That's it.
forward.
I mean, I love it. It's and I'll tell you, like, the thing I love about the kettlebells though too is that you get your mobility, flexibility, and obviously power, explosive power, but you don't have the risk that you do with the Olympic lifting. I mean, even though
Right.
I won some collegiate tournaments in Olympic lifting, I didn't take it to your level at all, but I can't. I'm not going to throw 250 pounds over my head in a snatch anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
My shoulders
No
will be
doubt.
somewhere in the river.
No doubt. I mean, I don't even remember. I look back in time, Phil, and I said to myself, my best snatch was a 280 pound split snatch. I'm not talking squatting, I'm talking split,
Split.
where you raise
Oh,
out like a deep lunge and you got the weight over your head. And then you got to get up from that
yeah,
position
yeah.
with 280 pounds over your head. Don't ask me how I did it. I don't know.
those, those days are way gone. Forget about it. But the thing is that with the kettlebell, you're able to, kind of get the benefit, but not quite the risk, which is
Right. And
really
it's a great tool to train with. I mean, you've one of the main guys with the RKC, and you by all means know all the benefits. But I mean, you want a quick 30-minute workout 4 times a week or 3 times a week that's going to kick your butt. This is it.
that's it.
This is it. For the life of me, I don't understand how guys go spend 2 hours in the gym. You know,
Why? I don't have that
I
time.
don't get it. I don't get it. But
You know,
maybe if you're an intense bodybuilder, you need that. I don't know.
whatever. But then, so now, then you got into the martial arts, and then you went to a whole nother level with the security, and I know with Tom Pateria and the last
Sure.
resort techniques and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's some really Cool stuff.
Yeah. The security working with Tom Pateri and state-of-the-art security. Tom's the #1 man, great in his field, knows what he's doing. And we had a very good time. I was doing that for about 15 years with Tom under his guidance, and it was a great experience. Did some good work. It was a great experience to get out. You know what I love most? I just love the brotherhood of all the guys.
Yes. Yeah, we still all converse
it's
with
that
each other.
brotherhood. I don't care if it's police officers, most of all military, but police officers, military, firemen, those guys who depend on each other create that brotherhood.
Yep.
And when you're out there doing a detail, and there's 4 of you, and the detail might be a little intense, everybody's got everybody's back, and you're looking out for everybody, and that's a good thing. You form some type of a bond, and it's an important aspect of that whole security umbrella that I really enjoy personally.
Yeah, that's great. When doing security, because when I was with Tom's team, working with you guys, and then also bouncing when you have your guys you're working with, and you see your crew. I mean, it's you form these bonds.
Yeah, most definitely. I slowed down with that security work in the early 2000s, taught at their training center, but as far as doing details, I slowed down a great deal. My school got very big, very busy.
Yes.
For about 5 years, from 2001 to 2006, I had over 400 clients.
Wow.
Between my fitness and my martial arts class, so a lot of my time was in that direction now. And the school's still there. Faustini's Institute of Martial Arts in Emerson. I'm no longer. I finally took a few steps back.
Yeah.
My director, who was with me for 20 years in the school in Brennan, is now the owner of
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's doing a great job. Of course, I wish her all the best in the world, but she's doing a wonderful job.
Awesome. So now, do you still go back at all, or you kind of just completely?
I go back. I have some private lessons. I still do martial arts and fitness, and I still go back on a Wednesday night. I teach the one adult class at 7:30, and I teach my young adults at 6:30 because, and I do a leadership at 6. But my young adults, I have a lot of young adults that are at that brown belt level, a high red belt level. So I feel obligated to bring them through to see that black belt, which is something I want to do. I've invested a lot of time in these students. So even though I'm not the owner of the school, I still have a vested interest in seeing them go to that level that they started with me.
Yeah, that's a testament of who you are.
Right. Well, thank you.
You've been running a school and teaching and training, and from the Garden State Games to, gosh, there's so many different aspects that you brought to the martial arts, so many people that you've worked with and helped, and that obviously still look up to you to this day, and just want your knowledge and your passion, and it was great that you got your brothers involved and everything too. So Glenn, I know, is still out there rocking and rolling, working it out, and it's great to see. Great to see. So another thing that you do is that you do a lot of stuff with motivation.
Oh, definitely.
Read the posts on motivation, and you send out information on that. And I really want to talk to you about motivation versus drivers, because I've always kind of been of the opinion, motivation is kind of good to get you going, but what's that internal thing that propels you forward? Because you got the extrinsic, which I kind of think motivation is more external, whereas drivers are like what's intrinsic, and why are you doing it in your heart? Because things on the outside kind of wear out. But things
that's a real good point and a real good topic, Phil. I know with a lot of my people, when they come to me for fitness, or even sometimes when they come to me for martial arts, I always ask them, ask yourself a question: what's your why? What's your why? Why are you here? Be brutally honest with yourself. Like, why are you here? Well, I want to get in better shape. Yeah, but why? But getting in better shape is too general. Yeah. Why do you want to get in better shape? What are the benefits of getting in better shape? So I think that's really, really, really important. With myself, that why was always because I always wanted to live a good life where I was functional.
Yes.
where I had the ability to do things. Even as I got older, I'm the father of 4 daughters who you've met every one of them,
Yes,
spent
every
time
single
with
one.
every one of them. And now I'm the 4 daughters. I'm the grandfather of 4 boys. Go figure.
It's awesome. You got your
Go
boys. You got
figure.
your boys. You got your girls. You got everything.
Go figure. Anyhow, so I want to remain active. I got 2 3-year-olds. I want to remain active so I can be a part of their life for as long as I'm around.
Yes.
I was able to do that for the 12 and 10-year-old, but for the 2 3-year-olds, I want to be there. I want to be active. Like I said, I'm going to be 73 in October, and I'm looking for a long time to be active. It's still in front of me.
Yeah, yeah, and as well you should. And look, I'm just doing one of the other reasons I was thinking of too is especially see this generation, some of these Gen Xers or not Gen X, what are they, the millennials and these Gen Z. I don't want them to have to take care of me. I'm not going to depend on them.
Right,
I don't
right,
trust them.
right. And I never want to be a burden to my kids.
Yes.
So that's an important aspect. So those were my whys, and I think we really have to identify. The world is full of great starters. Great starters. They have that motivation to start. And look at come New Year's. How many people make resolutions? I'm going to hit the gyms. That's what the fitness centers thrive on.
Yes.
And so you have so many people who are so motivated to get out there and do. Yet along the line, somewhere that motivation dies. And if you don't have a burning desire as to why you're doing this, and that's that intrinsic desire that you were speaking about, it's tough to keep going. And you can see that in some of the young students in my leadership team when we talk about motivation. I say to them, everything is great when everything is easy and going well. You want to see what kind of character and how tough you are? When everybody's trying to pull you down, and you let them pull you down, right? And you want to stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
No good. You want to see what character when everybody's trying to pull you down, you stand up and you keep moving forward. That's a test of your character. What you're made of. That's that motivation, that desire that's inside of you that you're just going to succeed. No matter who gets in my way, no matter who does what, I'm going to give it my 110%. And then at least I can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I gave it my all.
Yep. And that's the things I always say to people, hey, listen, you know what? The thing is that you can't really control the outcome. You can only control the process,
100% correct.
And the thing is that when you're there and these people they come in, like you said, oh gosh, I want to lose weight. Like you said, it's very, very vague. How much do you want to lose? Why do you want to lose it? What's your end game? What's your goal?
Right.
And the things that they have to take it internally, because externally, like you said, it's too hard. Like you said, the character is going to be revealed. When the rubber hits the road, when it gets tough, how are you going to overcome that? And there's things that are plain to you and I know you're going to take the ball and run with this one. There's things that are plain to you and I because we understand the benefits of fitness and being able to defend yourself. But how do we instill that in other people? We look around us, we see how the world's going. We see people in this country getting more and more overweight, more and more problems. And we see crime on the rise and people getting hurt. Why aren't more people, getting involved in what we do?
Well, you know what? I think we were talking about that motivation and people getting started, great start, especially when it comes to getting in shape, losing weight, so forth. As well as I do that people will, if somebody comes into you very heavy, 200 and says, let's just use 250 or two, okay, they could drop 20 pounds pretty easily if they follow and do what they're supposed to do. Then they hit a plateau. What happens is a lot of times when people hit that plateau, they get discouraged. They feel they're going nowhere. They feel this is where, but maybe their goal was 200 or even 210, but they get discouraged and they fall by the wayside. What we all have to remember is nothing goes straight up. In our case with losing weight, it's going straight down, but you'll drop, then you level off, and then you'll drop a little more. And that's the way it is. And sometimes if we're going up, those movements up could be very short or very either straight up and down or an arcing motion.
Mhm.
Sometimes the valleys could be long, but everything it continues to rise. You'll level off if you stick with it when you're losing weight and you listen to the person you're working with. You'll lose it, but you got to have that grit.
Yeah,
As I tell my kids, that perseverance and grit. Don't give up. Don't give up.
I found that I call it the 90 days of suck. It's you got to stick with it at least 90 days to recognize any type of sustainable change. Because these fad diets, fad exercise, whatever, they last. You can have a short spike and lose 10 pounds in a month or a week or whatever it is, but it's not sustainable. If you want to sustain something, you got to really form that habit. You got to stick with it no matter what. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to drink for 90 days. I'm not going to eat pizza for 90 days. Whatever it is. I'm going to make sure I hit my workout every day for 90 days. Some manner or form of it. I found that that's like that kind of breaking point.
Yeah, you got to stick with it. You really need to do that.
So what are some of the things that you tell people to like? And the thing is that it's kind of tough because sometimes everybody's different, right? Every body is different, like in a person, and everybody's body is different. But what are some of the things that you get that you tell these people to, instill that intrinsic drivers, the intrinsic goals in them?
Well, one of the important things, like I said earlier, I try to have them identify their why.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if they identify their why, that's their biggest driver, their biggest motivator, their biggest driver. Sometimes, in the course of working, if I'm working with somebody for quite a long time, they're not seeing the gains they want to see. Yeah. I'll go right back to their why. Or do you remember why you're here? Do you remember what you told me 3 months ago or 5 months ago? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Has that changed?
Yeah.
If that's changed, that's one thing. If that hasn't changed, then why are you even just keep moving forward? Sometimes the steps are going to be big, sometimes they're going to be little, but you're going to get there.
Yes.
One, that old cliche, a journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first one, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Before you know it, you're at 1,000. And so that's what I go back to with them. I go back to that with them, and sometimes, and as you know, Phil, muscle is lighter than fat. So when I tell the student, well, I'm not losing my weight, I don't see the scale change, I don't do this, I don't do that. How are your clothes fitting? I said, throw the scale away. Just tell me how your clothes are fitting. Yep. Because most scales that we get on the market give us one number. They don't tell you your bone density. They don't tell you your fat to muscle ratio. They don't tell you how much water's inside. They don't tell you anything. They just give you a number.
Just let you know, those scales that tell you your fat percentage are garbage because you plug in your numbers. They do it based on BMI, which is completely arbitrary. They just put in your height and your weight. Look, you and I are overweight.
100%.
Yeah, because of muscle.
Right. I'm about. I think the last time I looked, I was close to 20 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Where am I going to get 20 pounds from?
Where are you going to get 20? You would be dead. According to the scale, I think my BMI is like 29 something, and there's no way I have near that much body fat on me. So
right, I agree with you, 100%.
So, it just I don't really abide by that. But what you said, how do your clothes fit? How do you look? Because that muscle's denser. It takes up less space. So maybe you're not losing the weight. And I'll tell you though, it's one thing I love, and I know you like about the kettlebells too, is that when people are doing these motions, it goes right across their core the whole time, like every motion.
Man, there's nothing better than a good kettlebell flow.
Oh no!
You change 5 exercises, you chain them together.
Bang, 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 bang,
bang, bang, bang. Yeah, and it's great. It's great. Crazy,
And I want to go do another workout right now after this talk. Even I did one already.
I'm actually doing mine after this talk.
Oh, excellent! Oh, yeah, you're definitely gonna be pumped. So the thing is that sometimes when you brought something up, you said, well, did something change? Now, when something does change in someone's goal, do we go have them readdress, what they're looking for? And
Well,
does
I
that
think the
happen
best
often?
thing
Does
is
it kind of happen often?
if there's a change, you know, if your why changes, again, ask yourself, why did it change?
Yeah.
You know, that why word's important. My why changed, but what made it change? Okay. And if something that made it change is significant, then you have to address that. Why was this more significant than what I was doing? You know, it's constantly asking yourself those questions,
Yeah.
those same questions. It's all a three-letter word. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I here? Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Why am I doing this? It boils down to that word,
Yeah.
you know. And so that's what I continuously visit. You know, you change your goal might have changed. Is your goal better than what it was? Uh, is your endpoint better than what it was? Is it less than what it was? And if it's less, why is it less?
You know,
What
I've always abided by I call it the 4 Ds, discipline, dedication, desire, and drive. And I know you put those into action with your training your students. And if you just want to talk about a little bit about discipline and dedication, things like that.
First of all, you know, there is nothing better that you could have for yourself than self.
That's it.
And I don't care what field you're in. I don't care what you do. I don't care what job you have. It doesn't matter. That's self-discipline where you don't need somebody, an external. You know, you remember in your days of wrestling and my days of wrestling, your high
Yeah.
school coach screaming at you doing this. I mean,
Yeah.
dare you stop. You just, that was that outside intrinsic influence motivating you and screaming at you and yelling at you.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they scream at the kids today. But back then, we got screamed at and tossed around, got screamed out. And that's some people, but today, some people still need that to a lower extent. I mean, I have a lot of people in my teaching of fitness people throughout the years where they came to class because they had to be accountable to somebody.
Yes.
They had to have somebody push them. Not everybody has that. They were motivated individuals by all means, but they knew themselves well enough to understand I don't have the discipline to do this on the weekly basis, 3 to 4 times a week that I need to do. I need somebody to be there to be accountable to and to tell me what to do and to set the pace for me, you know. And that's where yourself as a trainer or myself as a trainer is great. It comes in. That's where your videos are even great because they're going at your tempo.
Yep.
You know, so
Okay.
and people need that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I applaud those people for saying, "Hey, I recognize it's about me, so this is what I'm going to do." And maybe they don't want to have to do the research and this, that, and the other thing, so they trust a professional. Hey, I know I show up this place 3 to 4 times a week for an hour. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to achieve my goals. I applaud them for that.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. But discipline, that self-discipline is crucial because again, we get to that motivation factor. People are great starters. Not a lot of them are great finishers.
Yep.
You have to ask yourself why. They lack that discipline. They're eager at first to get started to do this, to do that. Maybe they get bored easily. Maybe they get distracted. Maybe it gets a little tougher than they thought it would get. You know, uh, when we go back to when I tried out for the 76 team,
Yeah.
and I said a year after that, I finally gave up. I mean, at those tryouts, you know, I said 2 personal records. I mean, how unhappy can I be?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
were people better than me that day? That's all there is to it. But down the road, I decided to get out of it. But I always had that discipline to stay with the weights, whether it was dumbbells, Olympic lifting, the kettlebells, to keep myself in shape. And
Well, it's working. Just want to let you know. It's working.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. So that discipline is crucial. That discipline is very important. I mean, I talked to that in my school with the leadership kids that are going off to college. I said, you know, you're going off to college. You don't have mom and dad looking over your shoulder.
Yep.
All right. Nobody's looking at your report cards. Nobody's making sure you're studying. Nobody's doing anything. Everything is on you. And, you know, and it gets very tempting out there as a freshman. All of a sudden, people want to go out, they want to party, they want to do this. And that's a good social aspect of going to school. But you got to remember, everything is on your shoulders.
Yep.
You know, you have to have that discipline that you got a big exam, a big paper to write. You got to do it. That's it.
That's it. I mean, those are great words. I mean, the things that you know, I'm a little worried about some of these kids. Hopefully, they're going to be okay. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like anyone has that accountability or that discipline. I think that, you know, our generation had more. Even though I do see some kids are incredible. I mean, incredibly laser focused. But doing a martial art, getting involved in wrestling or something that creates that discipline, you know, like soccer, whatever it is. I think these kids need to be involved in some type of activity that they have to budget their time and takes discipline to be successful at.
Right, right. And what's nice about even a lot of your high school sports now, they're very much involved where if you're on a football team, even though your season's only in the fall, if the coach is good, he's having you train with the weights, getting stronger, doing agility during the off season, checking in on you, making sure you're getting that stuff in. Maybe you're playing other sports, which will keep you fit and agile child, but it's important. It's important to keep it moving.
Yep.
No doubt.
100%. Hey, Rich, do you have anything else going on right now? Do you have anything that you want to tell the audience about, or how to get in touch with you?
Well, you
I'm
know,
going to put all the stuff in the you know, in the explanation here. But
yeah, I mean, I'm still involved with my school, so you know, we have some great children's programs down there, great special ed program, and we just Lynn is starting a program during the day for us homeschool children.
wow,
Yeah, it's real big out west homeschool program. So we're going to start one here, see how it goes. We're going to do a martial arts program, one class a week, and a fitness program, one class.
nice,
And
nice.
I should be run
Yeah.
on 8 weeks, 8 week courses. So we're going to be doing that, and we're located right in Emerson, you know. So Faustini's Institute, you know that,
Yep.
and I'm still there a couple days a week, and she's doing a fantastic job, and everything's moving along well.
That's great. It's great. Rich, you know, it was a long time coming to have you on the podcast. We finally got to logistically, you know, get this thing together. But, you know, again, it was a true pleasure to have you on. I'm glad I got to share, you know, you with the audience. And I know that everybody's going to enjoy this segment. And
Well, thanks, Phil. And I've always been in your corner.
I know you have. Yep.
Always will be. Always will be.
That's
And
it. I love it.
I wish you the very best, my friend.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And Master Phil signing off. Strength and honor.
An honor. Take care.
Take care.